And so with that out of the way, guys, it's time to focus on our very first match of the night. It's going to be Elevate versus TSM. We can start by taking a look at the rosters for these teams, seeing who's going to be stepping up to the plate first. We've got TSM, of course, the newly acquired TSM, previously known as Team Accelerate, and of course recently having some roster changes with Bulow being brought on board as he can finally now play in these leagues, and I believe Crazy as well is filling in tonight, correct?
Just say Bolo. They're going to kill you. I'm just saying. Don't say Bulow. I'm saving you right now before we get into this.
Bolo, sorry.
Got you. I got you. Anyways, yes, as you said, Crusher being subbed out for Crazy for the USN playthrough. So, as you guys see, Team SoloMid up there on your screen. So, Bolo and Merc are the two people you're going to be wanting to look out for in my eyes. We'll have to see how it turns out tonight, though. So next roster we're going to have up on your guys' screen is going to be Team Elevate. It's Nog, Rich, Yellow, Spartan, and Tranks. A lot of this has been switched up from the prior rosters. So Pixel used to be on this roster, moved over to Luminosity in for Tranks. So LoJack's now a coach. Yellow's going to be playing in his spot. Then we have Prophet, last man that was on this roster, now Spartan. So Spartan priorly a Halo Pro or a Console Pro overall. He did play in Gears as well, which we also stole Veli from as well. So a lot of robbing, but hey, it works out, as you guys see. So Elevate roster there for you guys. A lot of new faces.
Yep, we've seen Elevate only have to play one match prior to this one, by the way, so far in the open bracket, whereas TSM had to play two. Elevate got their bye through in the first round, then managed to take out, I believe it was the team Monotone Callouts with a 7-3 scoreline on Border, which that takes us now to the discussion of the maps. We'll get to see where these two teams are going to clash, and we can get the veto up on screen here in just a second to see where exactly we're going to land up at here for the maps. Any predictions on this one, Stokes?
I'm just wondering how Monotone Callouts work. Just like, hey, he killed me. He's on Arcade Stairs. So I don't know.
Really unenthusiastic team name. You know?
Do you just imagine everyone in there like, oh, he's Yellow Stairs.
They lure everyone in with like a false sense of security.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these guys don't calm well.
Yeah. It's not even that, dude. It's probably like the calmest calms on the planet. You probably understand everything going on. There's no excitement. Like, some guy gets a 3K, he's like, yeah, he was top of Spiral. Like,
very soothing experience playing professionally. Exactly. Might have to try that out. But as you can see, we got the bans up on your screen and the map pick, as it is the best of one. So we'll just skip through all of that earlier business and get right to the chosen map, which is going to be Coastline. Elevate will start on the defense as well.
Should be pretty interesting. I'm excited to see what both these teams bring to the table. Again, a facelifted Elevate, so we'll have to see really what happens here, mainly because Coastline is a very aggressive map. You don't really need hard destruction. You can bring it. We've seen some teams bring it on like hookah takes and stuff like that, where they want to get up on the couch wall, try and make Smoke's life a little bit more difficult. But with these two teams, I don't expect that at all. I expect just a lot of aggression. And hopefully for you guys at home, that's what we get, because that should be extremely interesting. Also, very interested to see what the bans are going to be like for these operators, because if there's one thing that Spartan is known for, it's his Dokkaebi play. So we'll see if that ban comes out.
Yeah, we'll see if there's any target bans or anything like that. And we'll get into it in just a second. Overall, though, it's a pretty freeing map when you talk about the play style, and I think this meshes well with both of the teams' current ways that they're approaching the game. So it kind of just, it goes into that almost like NA sort of style that you can kind of expect out of a lot of players. This will mend very well onto a map like Coastline, and we should see the teams come out with, at least in the first rounds, a lot of confidence. We're probably going to see that change a little bit after the first like 2-3 rounds when teams are a little bit more used to each other in an official setting here, but we'll see how that evolves over the course of the map.
Absolutely. We've had a couple players that have been there, done that before inside of the USN. It's going to be Nog as well as Yellow on Elevate, both priorly on Team Sin. If you guys remember all the way back to December of 2018, they were actually on the final stage, ended up losing to Rogue, our Team USA that is having trouble inside of our brackets as well. So a lot of competition here.
All right, guys, well, enough about what we think of this matchup. It's time to see what you guys at home thought of the game and see our community vote. Let's find out. And, well, pretty much all of you think it is going to TSM direction. So if Elevate wins, that's a lot of upsets.
Can we have a Bolo number in there, please? I just need...
Yeah, what's the amount of people that are voting for Bolo? And
yeah, just like...
That are actually voting
I don't even know who Team SoloMid is, but Bolo's on it. There we go. I love it, man. I love it. Did you see that website? The whendoesboloplay.com.
Is it updated? That's the
that's the real question. Yeah, check that real quick. I'd be very interested to see. But yeah, I'm very interested to see how this is going to go, especially with such a high margin of difference there. 87-13. That's massive. So is it updated?
It's correct.
Dedicated?
Yeah, it's correct too.
Well, fantastic. Thank you, sir. Whoever's out there doing that.
It says 0 time, so that would technically be correct.
Yeah, because the match is going to start in about a minute. So
technically it's incorrect, but we're not going to complain.
Is he part of production?
It's close enough.
I mean,
He's got to hit us up. We could sync with him on that.
Hold on, guys. We're going to put it on a 10-minute
live update the website on the timer.
Yeah, exactly. So, but again, so for me, for TSM, there is one interesting thing. Crusher's going to be subbed out, and Crusher is their hard support. Over all of their matches, Crusher has been the only one to stick on one role. As you guys know, a lot of fluid gameplay has been adopted by a lot of teams inside of North America, and a lot of teams just overall, G2 most notably known for that, whereas a lot of other teams are still stuck in the old ways, very rigid, and that's not something we see very much anymore. So a lot of these teams are flexing over to just one person plays hard support, everyone else just adapts to who's best with that operator. Well, with TSM, Crusher is that man. He's the guy that's playing the hard breach, that Thermite Habana, and then a hard stuck support on Anchor like Echo or Maestro. But he's not going to be playing tonight. It's going to be crazy, so we might see some crazy things coming out from TSM with the likes of that move.
That also, of course, leaves the opportunity open since it is a little bit of a player missing from the roster, and that could potentially mess things up for them. So we'll have to see if Elevate's able to take advantage of that and use it for their own devices. But it should be minded that Elevate also recently lost Pixel, with him moving over to the now Luminosity roster, of course, previously known as 92 Dream Team until like 48 hours ago. So many of you might not be aware that pickup happened, but it did, by the way, just as a side note.
Yeah, in case any of you 92 Dream Team fans need to go update your tag on the R6 Pro League subreddit, but besides that, it's time for some Coastline action between Team SoloMid and Elevate. So we are going to be loading up that lobby right now, give you a nice little map fly through before we get things launched.
Action! Let's get into it. All right. Got Elevate banning their player out first. We were talking before about potentially seeing some like target bans come out. That would be from the TSM side, meaning on the two central operators. Jackal, however, is going to be the first op to get banned out, this time by Elevate. TSM will pick theirs, just knocking out one of the counter roamers on the attacking side there to hopefully make early round a little bit easier to deal with if they're expecting to see a lot of roaming presence coming out.
Pojo Man going to be the coach for TSM, so let's see if he did some research. It's going to be Lion, which of the two operators, kind of pick your poison, but I believe that Lion is definitely more powerful than Dokkaebi is, so I'd much rather leave that on the board, personally speaking.
Well, we've got the Defender ban coming in now, or both the Defender bans, I guess we could say. TSM still has the selection, so let's see what they're going to choose to knock out. Following pretty close to meta trends here so far in terms of who we've expected to get banned out. It's nothing crazy's happened just yet. It's going to stay that way as Maestro gets banned out. We've slowly been seeing that kind of tilt over towards Echo being left more in the pool more and more often, and this, again, aligns with that. So more than likely, Echo is not going to be the last ban here, and in fact, he's not. It's actually Pulse, which is another one we don't see super often on this map, but I can certainly see the validity of it with the amount of like C4 plays we've been seeing from Pulse recently here.
Well, not only that, but with Pulse, you can actually see people on the roof all the way from the base floor with this cardiac sensor, so you can coordinate an entire team from a very, very safe location. So, as you guys can see, TSM going to be on attack, Elevate going to be on defense once again. First site going to be Blue Bar, Sunrise Bar, so double bar setup, as we are actually going to have Crazy adopting the role overall so far, at least here in the first round, of Crusher. He's going to be playing on the Habana. Everyone else, some extremely aggressive ops. Bio and Merc, Ash, IQ, as well as the Capitao and the Sledge allocated for the rest of TSM.
So Echo's going to be in play, of course, too, here for the Defenders, considering the ban out of the Maestro. And we'll start at the double bars. Normally, we've been going to hookah billiards for pretty much all teams recently, but that's not going to be the case with Elevate. They start downstairs in the same position instead, wanting to play this out first. There's still more than likely going to be play upstairs, specifically in hookah, to try and fend off the attackers, since they don't want to hand over that easy top-down play. But besides that, of course, the focus will still be down here. I'll get into that in just a second.
As you said, vertical angle is going to want to be held, but it appears that Elevate also wants to hold down a little bit of kitchen.
Very minimum, these reinforcements should give a decent safe harbor for roamers, especially if that third wall is left soft, which I think is going to be the case. We just hide behind there, try to catch anyone that goes for early map control through the lobby, maybe pick up a free kill or two if it aligns properly. Second one, also going to make pretty much perfect sense here for NOG, as it does essentially the same thing, just for a more active defense upstairs.
To see exactly where TSM wants to allocate their troops, as it appears that they are going to be pushing Merc through offices. shouldn't be falling prey to any of that Mira setup just yet, as he already has free access onto site, and free real estate is blue currently, but they do have the sidewall broken up into courtyard, so has to be wary of those side angles, or even some of those vertical angles if somebody wants to hop out on blacktop.
Still going to be a slow lead up here for the most part, coming in for most of TSM. Merc and the rest of the squad going to be moving forward here now. And they take their way in through office for the most part, so slowly going to push in from the side from this direction. You can see Crazy getting the lineup now on the two X-Kairos charges right next to each other. This should lead them on the hole into the site. The P-Call also going to be left open on the side of it, but no actual push into the site happening yet. Either way, their TSM are getting into position incredibly quickly. Elevate will have to be ready to stop this. Potentially, before their roamers can have much of an impact here. Merc's going to be able to pick up the first kill. An immediate trade, though, comes in from Rich a second later as he's able to pretty much just peek the same hallway, get the exchange, and we end up in a 4v4.
TSM, not very much map control, but they have what's needed. They have the window for Blue Bar, as well as they have some pressure on Sunrise. IQ in the hands of Bio as he's looking out for any of those yokai drones that could possibly thwart a plant here, but they are going to get eyes on Echo. And this could spell disaster as one of the yokai drones will finally be decimated by the bullet of Bio. But the plan's going down as Crazy will full commit. Not going to jump off just yet. Still watching for security. Will be able to take down Rich is Bolo. Not going to trade it out, though. Spartan will actually team kill Tranks with one of those Toxic Babe. Diffuser down now, though. It's going to be up to Spartan and Nog. Left alone on Elevate. It's going to be all left up to Nog now as he will be removed from the lobby by Bolo. TSM with a quick and fast start.
Go pretty much straightforward business for them on the attack. They took control of the angles they needed to actually attack the site relatively early on, still with about a minute and a half on the clock or so. And then it was just a bit of a slower process to actually engage. I think they were, again, waiting to get the lockdown, especially once they got intel as to where the Echo is going to be playing from. I think things got a lot easier for them to play out from that point forward, and they executed on the site with minimal trades against them. So had a pretty clean round overall.
You really don't need the vertical pressure unless they're trying to pressure down on Blue Bar from upstairs, which they weren't. Exactly. They were more or less going horizontal with it, and they locked down everything to hold off flanks, things along those lines, especially with Merc. Merc pushed up through security, was able to hold over towards Lamborghini doorway inside of the lobby, making it to where they could not try and hold the angles into courtyard. Eventually, he did get eviscerated, but did not seem to matter as Crazy was able to get that diffuser down post-haste, and easy round there for TSM.
Well, we're going to see Elevate not stick around on that site. They're just going to move along, which isn't a bad call considering the kind of one-sided nature that round played out, at least when we got to the execute. So moving upstairs instead is where we're going to see Elevate shift over towards next into Hookah Billiards. Operator lineup going to remain relatively similar overall. Not a whole lot of big changes coming out from them here.
Quick move, though, as they are going to be going upstairs now, as you said. So, traditionally speaking, this is usually the site that a lot of teams prioritize. It's pretty well held, especially with smoke, as you can lock down a lot of the entry points. Traditionally speaking, Aquarium is going to be the choice for the offense. We've seen some other teams have some other thoughts, but so far that does seem to be the move by a lot of these higher tier teams.
Drone deployed.
You see a lot of plays specifically working its way over towards Aquarium and Hookah Balcony. If they want to play around with Repel, they can also try to play into that window in Hookah, too. That's generally the attack route we've seen most teams take over the past few weeks. This is what we've been seeing here for USN. Started out, there's the window play from Bolo. This is going to try to take control here. Not going to be pressuring it at all. It's way too early for that. Going to hold a position and kind of wait for the marker to come up for the team's leadership, at which point those bolts are going to find a lot more use. Here's the side window play that we've got working here for Achieved. Try and get their way into Hookah, and there's going to be some of the bolts. Actually find a player out from him as well. Tranks caught well in the open, and that's the Echo gone, too, very early on from the round.
Extremely well done by TSM. They know all the angles they want to hold down, but Spartan might be playing devil's advocate as Bolo will finally fall. That's going to be the man that was playing double window. No more Capitao, which means no more asphyxiating bolts, which means Spartan can stay alive behind Couch. But Bio getting aggressive here. Is he going to check Couch? No, he's not. Smoke has left his position. Mark downstairs trying to do a little bit of work as well as he will. Actually, Spartan, I canceled that as Spartan's going to get the double kill with the SMG-11. And quite a bit of work is going to rotate over towards Cool Vibes as the Toxic Babe's going to ring through, but it's going to be all Elevate all the way as they're battling back here in round number 2.
Great recovery here by Elevate, holding a strong ground once again. Another early execute from TSM. Thought they would have been able to throw the pressure at them, but guess again, a last-second peek there from Yellow right out the door. Says bye-bye to Achieved and hello to the first round for Elevate as they tied up 1-1. Either team with an advantage right now, but only the first defensive pickup so far. So they can go right back down to bars if they want to try that site once again, or still continue to shift around. Mira is not banned after all, so you have that slight possibility we go over towards Penthouse.
You want to look at it like this. Whenever you're inside of these, a lot of angle holding, as TSM is trying to do with the double window as well as Purple Tarp's window, so many different angles that they're trying to hold to just try and make it to where if you make a wrong step, you die. You want to try and battle out of that box, and that's exactly what Spartan did, was able to take out Bolo on that double window, and I believe he'd never even touched Couch. He was there for an instant, but immediately when he saw the pressure start to come on double window, heard the para, has a very, very known report. It sounds very unique in the game, so you know exactly which operator it is. Rotates out immediately, and actually, I believe he actually took him out from Sunrise Bar downstairs, if I knew the angle correctly just from sound. So very smart play by Spartan to just rotate downstairs, gets a free kill on Clay Pigeon hanging off the side of the building. Then Elevate, just able to clean the rest of them up as they did battle out of that little bit of a box. Even though TSM did start things off correctly with taking out the Echo, just did not come to fruition for them in the end.
Yeah, like I said, didn't really follow through too well in the execute, so we're going to end up back downstairs as a result. Yeah, as a result of that, and essentially the same setup there for Elevate, which, like I said, is a little bit. It's going to be a little bit interesting to see how that plays out, considering how well it went for TSM. But it could be something that Elevate very easily just need to correct in the way that their players were positioned. And then they are going to be able to try and swing this round back into their favor. Obviously, don't give TSM such a huge advantage in the early round either. That'll help your case out quite a bit, obviously.
They might try and get more aggressive from upstairs, just hold those vertical angles into blue bar, because that's really where everything fell apart for them last time, is that once they leave the pressure over on the opposite side of the map and Merc was able to move through security and was able to lock down the rotate, they really couldn't do anything. They tried to pressure it, but after you have a pixel angle with an ACOG, you're really not going to win that gunfight unless you are able to slip one rare bullet through that angle. So besides that factor, it seems that the round's going to go more or less the same way as it is starting off the exact same way as round number 1. No ADSs inside of blue bar, and Merc's going to be able to use that breaching round to get rid of some barbed wire. So they're more than likely going to be able to get this pressure on Tranks once again. This is not looking too good for Elevate so far. Haven't seen any kind of adjustment.
Quick pressure working its way in, like you were saying before, essentially the same exact procedure we saw TSM go through the first time this round was played. Still doing a little bit of droning work upstairs just to make sure no one tries anything on them. They'll leave that drone on the bookcase right by the stairs to keep a constant overwatch on those rotates. Besides that, it's all clean. We're not seeing a whole lot of upstairs play overall here from Elevate, and that's left it pretty much solely on the site execute, like we saw back in round number 1. This time, though, as you can see, there is a little bit of an attempt to circumvent this push. We've got 2 players from the defense lurking around main stairs upstairs to try and pinch on this, probably when the execute happens.
Yeah, a lot slower wind up and not too much utility burned from TSM just yet. Quick shot, gonna meet Mira, but Nog will stay alive. That 3 armor keeping him up, but not too much health just yet. And Achieve gonna be holding the angle over into Billiards. He's trying to get the gunfight with Valkyrie. Not gonna find it out just yet. Rocking a hard place here from Achieve, but Diffuser starts to go down. IQ looking for those yokai drones, but nothing of it just yet. Actually, oh, quick shot as trades go all over. Yellow with a triple, but Achieve with a double. Run out. Actually, it's going to be Bio. Canceled. That is going to be a 2v2 here for TSM to Elevate. You guys saw that kill feed light up. Trades coming through everywhere. Nade kills, everything of the sword. As Yellow's going to take a misstep. Bio, though, will find the kill. It'll be a double for him as well. Achieved and Bio bouncing back. It's going to be all left up to Tranks. He does still have 1 yokai drone. Could play Devil's Advocate once again to try and stop this plant, but Bio's actually going to see Tranks inside of Sunrise Bar. They're going to go for the pinch. As Achieve works his way down Cool Vibes. He's going to have the notation of that information, though, as you guys saw him take out that cam. Bio's going to go for the plant, so he's going to have to choose. Does he take this gunfight with Achieved, or does he stop the plant? Chooses plant first. He's going to be playing the bomb chassis here. They don't have any other utility. That's going to be the last yokai shot as well, so he's going to be able to stick the defuse now. Has to take the gunfight, but it's going to be Achieved to win it out. TSM finds their second round.
So a better job by Elevate that time in preventing the execute from being a success. They do a lot of, subversion up on top to try and pull the pressure off from the main push. And it works to a certain degree. It makes the execute, as you were saying, incredibly chaotic. Really hard to keep track of what was going on there. But ultimately, TSM still had the better positioning to play off of in the 2v2. The Jaeger from Elevate got a little bit aggressive in trying to push his way out from Office, giving his life away there, and then a very winnable 2v1 that TSM ultimately were able to crush there towards the end.
Yeah, it really seemed like that initial plant was a red rag to a bull for everyone. I mean, kills flying through absolutely everywhere. Frag grenades inside of luggage and just every single person falling off the face of the planet up until we had a 2 versus 2, but eventually getting knocked down to just the yokai. And very smartly played by TSM, making sure to get the information on where Echo was initially and making him choose. Do you try and take the gunfight against Achieve or do you stop the plant? Made the right choice, but just did not have the information on Achieve any longer on exactly where he was. So there's kind of a lifespan on information inside of Rainbow Six Siege. It's about 5 seconds long. So once it gets outside of that, you really don't know where someone has been. In that 5 seconds, they could have sprinted almost halfway across the map, or they're upstairs. There's so many different things that could have happened, and you really can't trust that old information anymore. Everyone has legs. They can walk.
So TSM, though, still going to be able to take the lead off that previous round, and this means the site's going to change once again. Elevate just not having the best of luck when it comes to the double bars. So it's over to, I believe, Kitchen for their 3rd site attempted so far in this half. They've got 3 more rounds to go, so we could still see them complete the full rotation. The overall setup, as far as I can tell from Kitchen, is pretty generic in terms of what we're seeing from them. Nothing too crazy in terms of the reinforcements. They do have that area left open again, so if they want to try to jump down from the other side of Courtyard and play on top of that awning, they can spray into the site. We saw a team do that last week. They just didn't have a good angle to stop a plant, and they ultimately lost the round from it. So we'll see if that kind of passive strat from Elevate works out better for them this time.
Seems like they might be allocating for aggression, but speaking of which, Bolo with the opening frag on Rich. That's going to be a Legion. That's going to be a very large pick, actually. Taking out a lot of those goo mines, since he is going to be time-based on that utility. So no more invisible trash for anyone to 7. Merc's going to be holding down 90. They might actually be going for a lockdown here as... Oh my goodness, a little bit of a trade there on health, but actually no, it's not going to be Merc tagged. It's going to be Merc tagged up, but none onto his enemy. Yellow will finally catch a couple of bullets, but appears that TSM wants to deal with the upstairs as quickly as possible. Most of their troops are going to be dedicated here as Bolo's trying to back up Bio inside of luggage.
Let's get 2 minutes. TSM with a pretty decent amount of map control, just not really working towards the site too heavily just yet. As you can see here, the first floor barely been touched by TSM. They've got a lot of their map control up on the 2nd floor, which isn't terrible either. There's still a lot of top-down play that can go on here. You've got Sledge, you stole the breaching charges on IQ as well. So a lot of soft destruction, a lot of intel that can be placed specifically into the kitchen, and then they can use this to push from Cool Vibes into the site. However, Cool Vibes, it's looking like the defenders have their own plan here. They're going to try to push up on top of it. But a minute and 20 seconds left, so not necessarily stressed for time too much on TSM's side, but they are going to have to start moving soon considering the relatively lax amount of downstairs control they have. Nearly lining up a kill of the players inside of service entry. Some good damage. Well, it could have been on either one of those 3, unfortunately. It's not anything beyond the 25 HP being knocked out. But you got 3 players hit for that amount of damage. It's not really game stopping. And now, since the top-down play, especially with Biologic getting hit right there, hasn't panned out the way they would have hoped, and now they have to deal with, counter presence here on the top floor. They basically just have to push service off of the Capital charges and hope the micro smokes are going to be enough in order to get the diffuser onto the ground. There's the first Yokai drone moves in. It does successfully stop the attempt. They've still got a lot of it down, but it's not going to matter. Spartan pushes into it, drops crazy, throws the diffuser on the ground. Merc's going to be able to trade it back. Bolo going to make an aggressive push through the smoke grenade, trying to work his way further into the site, and most importantly, of course, recover that diffuser at all odds. Down to a 3v3 now. Nice position taken by Merc, and some good patience finds the trade on the Spartan. You still have this Yokai drone hiding in the corner. It's perfectly aligned to once again stop this plant from going down. There you go. Immediate denial. He'll kill it, though. So now we can confirm the plant. Yellow, though, just found another pickup, but the planter does have the support from Achieved. You can try to place this on the ground. A little bit confused about where the pressure's coming from. They stopped the plant once again. There was another Yokai drone able to throw into that situation, so no time left. Too many players to knock out. Elevate, waste the time necessary and pick up the round.
Intelligently played by Elevate there, especially Spartan, using that Mask of Smokes to its utmost efficiency. He does not take damage in his own Toxic Babes. So Smokes off the plant, pushes through, able to find that kill with that SMG-11, which recently got a little bit of a buff on its recoil. So a little bit easier to use, not nearly what it used to be, but still, buffs are buffs. So Doing quick work of that round there was Elevate, as they were able to thwart all of the plans of Team SoloMid with some smart utility usage all the way up to the last second, where it was going to be that 1v2 that you guys just saw on your screen. No peaks coming out by Elevate, and that's exactly what you want to see. You don't want to see over-aggression and give that man those ones. Even in a 3-second period, Achieved could definitely still take both those gunfights and win, so you don't even want to give him a chance. Ties it up 2-2. A little bit of a slow wind-up there on their initial take upstairs, which Elevate was able to later counter by eventually moving some people up Cool Vibes. I thought that it was going to take a lot longer for them to get any pressure, because that's what it appeared to be, a lot of angle holding initially by those roamers that were rotating upstairs, but still found their presence and were able to alleviate that pressure, and Merc just could not find an answer for it at all.
Yeah, I mean, they had the good angles and whatnot from upstairs. So much self-destruction had been placed to give them access to vision and kitchen and service entry, but they just got nothing from that intel. You know, no picks at all against Elevate. The most damage they did was about like 25 HP to a single player. So without any of that, Elevate still had a really strong sight hold, and especially with the counter roam or the late roam that we saw from Elevate on Cool Vibe stairs that denied any presence from TSM down there, they just didn't really have enough of an angle to try and flush out defenders, and that allowed those defenders to stop the plants as easily as they were able to do towards the end of the round.
Very interested to see what the split's going to be for Team SoloMid on offense and defense. In their last couple of matches in PO, we only talking about the ones with Bolo, so they had the full roster instead of Poj, which is their coach, in. They were 7 for 3, which means that they had 7 on offense, 3 on defense. So, quite a bit of a split there between their offensive and defensive sets, but as of right now, it seems that things might equalize out. So, and again, that was across their last 2 maps. So 10 rounds in the last 2 maps, obviously 7 to win 1 game. So, tied up with SSG, which seems to be a regular thing at this point across the last 2 seasons, but regular things seem to fall by the wayside here as Nog will blow up Biologic to start things out, and actually our last 2 rounds have both started off pretty early, within a sub-minute frag.
Massive rage quit there from Biologic. You hate to see that. No, just kidding. Of course, he probably had to fix something real quick, so he'll be back in a second. Nice nade, a little off the mark. Ooh, and it got ADS'd as well, so bye-bye to that one. Mark is instead going to pick up the opening frag from downstairs here to find Rich. Hello, still grouping up with the others. They're trying to push back in over here towards Aquarium, but there's not a whole lot of pressure coming in from the attacking side on Aquarium at all right now. They're focused on Hookah and still having Cool Vibes control 2 here, so trying more so to pinch onto the Hookah and go for their usual attack through Aquarium, which does leave it open to runouts, as we're going to see right now. Oh, the reads from Bolo, though. Picks up the frag on Yellow. Tranks also went down. Bolo peeks right back in. He can get another one here, too. No. Finally shut down by Nog. That might have just won the round right there. He's got it all on to Nog in a 1vx situation. Done great damage to the Ash. He's at a single HP. Merc's going to make the push, and with that single HP, gets the kill anyway. TSM take the lead back now at 3-2.
We finally got some Bolo gameplay. I think a lot of people were waiting for that. That was a very nice shot. So we're gonna have a rehost coming through right now, guys. You guys can see the bottom right of your screen. So it's gonna be coming back to us. Hi, hello, how are you? We're back at the desk with our game fuel. So, actually, speaking of which, apologies about my cup, but.
Amateurs.
Amateurs, man. Amateurs. But speaking of amateurs, not a very amateur shot there by Bolo, as you guys can see. A little bit of a read. Well, actually, he didn't even really read the Jaeger out. That's why I was kind of laughing like a giddy little girl there for a second. It's because he didn't even read the Jaeger was running out of Aquarium balcony. He just got enemy detected and it was like 200 IQ flick and shot the man right off of the balcony hop out. So very nice shots there by Bolo, but hey, what do you expect? I will bring up one thing, though. Merc hasn't been talked about a little bit. I mean, again, a little bit in the shadow of somebody that's got a lot of pressure on him. But as you guys can see, is performing. Merc has been doing fantastic over these last couple of play days, as well as here on this USN desk. As you guys can see, he's been more or less solo joining himself in and is finding those initial frags that have been helping out TSM quite a bit, even up to that last gunfight. Smart plays there with Ash, applying pressure when he needs to, and not getting overly aggressive. So, as I'm pretty sure you guys will see once we get back in there. Actually, it's going to be a rehost, but Merc's more than likely at the top of the scoreboard right now with frags. So, granted, he has been working more or less in the dark, but been doing quite a good job.
Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing. I think we've been seeing smart plays overall across the board. This hasn't been necessarily a very solo-focused game. We haven't had, besides Bolo pulling off the double or triple kill that he got there. There hasn't been a whole lot of situations that have been decided by a single player. It's just been a lot of really smart mid-round adjustments and mid-round calls coming out for both of these teams, to be honest, and that's why it's literally just a back and forth affair right now. Neither team has a massive lead, and as you saw from our round share there just a second ago, we haven't seen a single team win more than one round in a row yet, so this is still a completely open game. Could go anywhere over the next few rounds here.
Seems like people like playing on the playground when you and I cast. Just sitting there on the teeter-totter. It's a lot of fun. So, as you guys could see, they were going to hookah that last one, which Elevate actually won priorly, so we'll have to see if TSM can find the answer for that. The last time that they played that site is when TSM grabbed all of those angles. They had purple tarps as well as double window, but Spartan was able to fight out of that box where he was able to remove Bolo from double window. Eventually, they were able to remove the man from tarps, and it all came down to a sole man on TSM, which Elevate quickly dispatched, getting that second round, and that's really what started the teeter-totter for us. So we'll have to see if that continues or if Elevate will finally get their first lead of the day.
Yeah. Again, beyond that aspect of it, we are just waiting for the players to reconnect, so we do apologize for any delay here, folks. We're working on getting the match started as quickly as, or restarted, as quickly as we possibly can. So it's just a matter of getting everybody jumped back into the server, and then we should be good to go. But it's been an interesting match so far. Like we said, it's been a lot of kind of mid-run adjustments and whatnot. For instance, just on the hookah play before, we saw an initial start from the guys over on TSM who started their attack off pretty straightforward fashion, going for that, kind of like pinch, or rather if we talk about the bar attack, actually, that's a good way to talk about it too, because we saw them the first time they attacked it, trying to go for that, sort of pinch from the, or just a general push from the bar side, or the office side, managed to get all the angles open they need. Very straightforward round. Second time we played it, we saw the immediate adjustment coming in from Elevate. They had a lot more presence of stairs. We're doing a great job with delaying it. I still don't think they won the round, unfortunately, if I remember it correctly. I think that bar round still ended up going over towards to the guys from TSM. But still, we're seeing great examples of teams making changes to their playstyle and nearly winning rounds as a result of it, and avoiding those kind of the clutch-focused rounds that we often do get here in Siege. So it's nice to see a much more strategical, focused game. Obviously, with the last round being kind of the big exception from that.
Exactly, I'd have to agree with you on that front. So, as you guys can see, as he was saying, there's just been a lot of, how do I word this correctly? There's not been a lot of massive amounts of droning. They already know what they want. So they walk up, they grab the angles, they have their supports, obviously push the drones through to be able to flush out anyone, or just those angles putting in work on a lot of these sites, since there's a lot of outside access on Coastline. So, with that early aggressive angles, especially on like hookah, for instance, where you have Bolo hold double window, Echo really can't put too much pressure up on that wall, otherwise Bolo's going to be able to frag him out. So tries to go and find safe haven, but that's when the purple tarps windows comes in. That's how they got their initial pick the last time. So a lot of these offensive strats that they have set up for Coastline are working out pretty handedly, but it seems that they are running into a little bit of pressure from the defense that Elevate's been able to apply. So we'll have to see if they're able to fight outside of that. I think that they're just not really thinking too far ahead as to what Elevate's going to respond with, and it seems to be punishing them.
Yeah, there's a lot of confidence in round 2 is the best example of that, where we had the opposite instance happen from round 1, where they kind of just bursted in upstairs trying to do another really straightforward execute, and they got cleaned up because of some quick positional rotates that happened from Elevate there in round number 2. So we've seen both examples of that. I think TSM needs to kind of tighten up the ship a little bit and be ready to adjust on a moment's notice against Elevate. Elevate just needs to continue adjusting, to be completely honest here. Everything we've seen from them is good. They're just falling on a couple of rounds here so far. We've seen them fall, just short of the finish line in, one or two aspects of that. So if they clean that up, then they're going to be pretty good to probably claim a few rounds, maybe even steal the lead in this match away and be able to push them into our third match of the day, where they're going to have the chance to face off either against our Bad or the Pittsburgh Embers, pending the result of that match, which of course is going to be coming up directly after this one.
I feel that it's a lot more competitive than a lot of people thought it was going to be, especially with the new Elevate roster. I mean, 3 people getting swapped over, Loa Jack's going to coach. That's quite a bit of roster movement. So with that, especially with how TSM's been performing lately, I'm very interested to see how the rest of this game's going to go, especially with how competitive it's been so far. I think that the real telltale sign is going to be when we actually role swap. So when Elevate goes to offense and TSM goes to defense, because as we stated earlier, TSM has not been on a hot streak on their defensive set so far. So over the last 2 games, as we said, they won 7 offensive rounds and 3 defensive rounds. And that's been on defensive sided maps. They played Bank and they played Villa. Bank 52% to the defense, and Villa 58% of the time going towards the defense. So it seems that they have their offenses set up pretty well, as we've seen so far inside of Coastline. But again, very interested to see how this defensive set goes for them.
Yep, and that's going to be coming, guys, in just a few minutes. We were already on, I think we're on round, like, 4? Or
we are on round number 5.
Right, yeah.
Round number 5.
So we're already on round 5, meaning we've only got 2 rounds left of the current half. Then we're going to be switching sides. And, of course, we will be resuming on that 5th round. We just need to get back in... No, it's round 6, sorry, apparently. So we're going to be jumping back into round 6, apparently. It is 3-2 to TSM. Yeah, that's right, because it was just tied 2-2. TSM just took the lead back. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So... it's going to be round 6, and I think we're heading back into it now, folks. So let's get back into the match, where once again, TSM has the lead.
It's Pablo. Apparently I missed out on one of my numbers there, so it is going to be hookah, but what was the...
There was just a hookah attack last round.
Okay, and they won that.
Yeah,
okay.
TSM won that.
All right, so just did not place a number in one of my columns there that messed me up a little bit, but that's fine. Okay. So we got it all fixed now, so I got the round count. So we're good.
They're 1-1, I think, on this site right now for attack. Well, it would be the same thing for defense, but either way. Continuing on with the action here, we'll take a look to see if the setup will change at all for Elevate now that they've seen the pressure coming from a different direction. First time the site got attacked, it was a lot more focused on the aquarium side. Second time, it was a little bit more focused on the window, hookah side of things. A lot of people will push from the basement, if I recall correctly, too. But either way, reinforcement's going to be lined up here. And as far as that setup's going, it's looking pretty normal here from Elevate. No crazy ways they're positioning their players or their reinforcements or anything like that.
They're going to have the Tranks on the dock instead of the Echo this time around, though. That will be definitely a game changer. Looks that Elevate wants to be a little bit more aggressive this time around. Oh, found it. Okay, Nog.
He won the round of Where's Waldo for this round.
Yeah, too bad we don't have any. We need some skins for our drones.
We give him a gold star every time he finds a drone.
1 schmeckel.
Yeah. It's to put a star on the drone. Technically, it would take the star from the drone actually and just put it on his chest. The drones just have yellow stars on them.
Just and if you rob the drone's
whenever
soul.
you shoot the drone, you just get a gold star and you get to put it on your chest.
Oh my gosh.
Whoever has the most gold stars in that match wins a prize from a cereal box. This is how I would balance Siege, just so you know, Ubisoft.
Kind of like
in case you need any ideas for content.
Kind of like Tootsie Pops and the archer on it. With the star, the Indian archer, where if you got enough of them, you got free Tootsie Pops.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Remember that?
Wasn't that whole thing like a lie? Either way.
Only 90s babies remember.
Either way, Achieve's going to end up going down as we start to see TSM push in to access the building. Bolo with a nice find against Yellow, but it's not going to last, unfortunately. Rich also going to be able to finish off Achieved and kill a player that was attempting to res him. So a very bumpy start here for TSM, as they are really struggling to work their way into the building, let alone get access to either of the sites. Finally, Bio is going to be able to pinch out one player from the inside of Kitchen, but that's only a small gesture. They've just brought it back to a 2v3. Crazy still stuck on the inside of Sunrise, although he's going to do a good job of battling himself out there. Takes out the Legion, knocks out Rich, and of course, will get stung in the process. Thankfully, that's not going to deal a whole lot of damage to him.
Well, this seems to be a mirror of a prior round that we had a little bit earlier, but different people on the field. We're going to have Spartan and Tranks, so that will be the 2 allocated for Elevate. Spartan going to try his best to stay alive here. Those Toxic Babes could come up huge. He has 3 of them, and it appears that TSM does want to try and go for the default plant spot inside of Billiard, so that will definitely help them as he can throw those Toxic Babes into the corner and be able to smoke off the default plant.
Elevate floating a little bit with the peak there, we could see. At least considering it, but not pulling through, or at least not lining up with anyone from TSM in the process. They are going to be able to get some good info, I think, just on the other side of that wall. Going to try to execute on it here, too. It's a very annoying Kairos to line up there. I kind of sympathize with Bio a little bit. But it's not going to work out, so he has to put it in a different position. He's not blowing it up just yet. Might be waiting for the push to try and mask it a little bit as they move in. Walks right into another goo mine. Even from the grave, you're going to see Legion bring a lot of effectiveness towards rounds. And now, the smoke through the wall is going to block further attempts to plant here. Only 18 seconds left. I think that was only the first Toxic, so they have to try and plant in a different position. Otherwise, this is not going to work.
Yeah, definitely not going to work out for him. It'll be down to 3 seconds once the smoke dissipates. So Bio's going to have to stick it, and Crazy's going to have to try and get the 2K. Actually, Bio's going to walk into it while the Toxic Babe is dissipating. So Spartan's going to have to try and get aggressive here. Crazy with the shots. Crazy will be able to take down one. It's going to be all left up to Tranks, and the diffuser will go down. Not going to be able to find the telltale sign of Habana. Pops a couple shots, but Bio going to be able to stay alive. Goes upside down on the door. Very smart angle being held, and be very soft angles held by both. Spy will see the toesies of the Doc as he's actually going to go for the defuse here. Is he going to stick it? Crazy going to get aggressive as he was the one getting... Oh, what a shot! 2 headshots for Tranks, and that's going to be the tie here on the defensive set for Elevate. Heck of a shot for Tranks. If you guys don't know who he is, you know who he is now. And wow, that was a crazy 2v1 situation there for Tranks.
A little bit off the timer to get it on the end around replay, but not a big deal. Still pulls out the clutch. A big one at that. Like you said, tying up the game now, leaving us at a 3-3 scoreline comparing the 4-2 that TSM would have now had. Still a chance for Elevate to complete this upset. Pretty big one at that, considering our community poll anyway. And see if they can take themselves over to the final of the open bracket. Picks are coming in now. We'll see a little bit of Mozzie play, it looks like, from Merc this time around.
He's got so much utility, man. So much. Able to steal drones, which takes information away from the offense and gives it to the defense, which, I mean, hey, it's not like they don't already have a lot of it. You know, I mean, look, we have Crazy and we have Crazy on Echo, and we have Achieved on Valkyrie. So that's already plenty of intelligence out there on the field. I even believe that we had Legion. We actually are going to end up 6-picking off him to Jaeger instead. But still, that's so much utility and information for the defense. Not only that, 2 armor, 2 speed with a really good SMG and a nitro cell. So there's so much utility that Mozzie brings to the table. Glad to have these Aussie operators in the game.
And again, you saw our round share lineup there. It's still continuing to go back and forth. Neither team with a real advantage being built up here. It's just been trades all day long. And ultimately, if that continues to the end of the match, TSM will still win this, as it's still the first team to get to 8 regardless of the amount of rounds between the two teams. It's just the standard 3-round overtime here. We do not do unlimited. So they need to keep that in mind here. Elevate needs to find some way to push ahead.
Yeah, unlimited save for those finals at Majors, which are probably going to be coming up pretty soon as well. I bet a lot of you guys are excited for that, but it doesn't appear that we are going to have the Dodo play just yet. Achieved with the early frag on a yellow. It's going to be a spawn kill, but those are absolutely equal, guys. They are in the handbook. Don't worry. It's all good. It's a good black eye plays there for Achieved.
Oh, he just stole
They're trying to find another one, and oh, a little bit of a highway robbery there by Merc as he is going to get the drone.
Kill Twitch with the Twitch drone. Oh, never mind.
Bolo will go down, though, to the hands of Doc inside of Blue Bar. That is going to be the Buck, so could possibly pop some holes, as you are actually going to hear the telltale sign of that. Getting open between the two.
Oh, yes. This is what we wanted to see. Let's go. Keep it going.
It's Battle Bots. Is he going to steal another? No. Merc's going to fight his way out. Sees the leg of, I believe that's Tranks on the IQ, but Merc trying to find his way through on the forest here is not going to come to fruition. Not going to get immediately traded, though, to the hands of Crazy upstairs, but Achieve also downstairs in kitchen, so could find some success. So he is going to try and see if there is any drones that could possibly find his location inside of the kitchen bar area.
I'm still so disappointed the Twitch drones didn't kill each other.
Yeah, it was like battle bots.
I know.
I was getting so excited. It's like, tase each other,
Once
do
they're
it.
playing the Mortal Kombat.
Dun, 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 dun. I completely got that wrong, but it doesn't matter. Spartan going to take down Achieved with the para. A lot of people allocating for the para instead of the M249 in this matchup, which, again, still a very good weapon, but you still can kind of throw them off as to if you're playing Gridlock initially until those toxic, those asphyxiating bolts are fired through.
By the way, still not a whole lot of progress being made here by Elevate in terms of map control, but they're on par in terms of trades here. So they don't need to worry about it too much. Still have a little under a minute, I guess, now. Try and work their way toward the site. And they've got aquarium controls. They've got the starting point. Rich is going to try to pinch the angle from over towards Hookah. We can see, of course, that Yokai is still trying to get lined up, but prevent this eventual push.
Dark loaded.
But honestly, they're working with a little bit less assets to play with here. Gonna see micro smokes going in. Will block off access to the push, but we'll also see the toxic babes going down. They're gonna try to push the smoke out, though. Biologic seems to realize if it doesn't have the angle to play off of, he won't get the kill. Rich also finds Crazy, so with Rich being able to push forward further into Hookah, he'll find Bio, take him out. That's another round coming for Elevate. We talked about them needing to push ahead, and they just did it.
Intelligent play coming from Elevate here in the sub-minute category here on round number 7. As you guys could see, they're going to have 2 operators push in from Aquarium. Draw all that attention over towards that Aquarium balcony as well as Billiards area, and have Twitch with that F2 do what she does best and eliminate the last 2 remaining ops of Team SoloMid. So little bit of misdirection there from Elevate, doing their best magic trick.
Now Elevate going to try to keep this streak rolling here. They've got it going into their favor. TSM also going to shift a little bit, head downstairs into the double bars as well. 6-pick on the Echo, actually, which will be the first round we will not have Echo played, if I recall correctly. He's going to get 6-picked out to the dock. So it's looking like TSM actually trying to get more aggressive, potentially, with their play style. We'll see how this pans out.
It's actually going to be the exact same swap that Elevate pulled. So the only round that they didn't play Echo was the round that they played Doc. So
well, there you
we're going to have the exact same change-up. So it's going to be Bio instead of the Echo. Actually, Bio instead of the Smoke, going to give that over to Crazy, give himself the Doc. So it's going to be the double bar setup this time around, though, which, as you guys saw earlier, you need to be able to hold upstairs. You have to be able to do that, because if that gets alleviated from the defense, this all of a sudden becomes a very easy round for Elevate. There is no safe harbor to be held, all except for really Kitchen. You're not going to see too many vertical angles being held from Kitchen, especially on this site. But, I mean, we've seen crazier things. It is Rainbow Six Siege. So, speaking of crazier things, oh no. Is it going to happen? Merc's going fishing. The prey. It's going to be Elevate.
Rich?
No one going to walk in favor just yet as Merc. Yeah, Merc's going to walk away from that. He is actually going to keep 2 pests on deck in hand. So, could possibly find some more Twitch drones, especially if those are going to be used by Rich. But he actually is going to get on Purple Tarp's window here, as TSM has actually vacated the area, more or less, and Nog's already upstairs making quick work of the floor.
It's going to check down in offices just to make sure you don't have anyone trying to hide down there with a nitro cell or any other tricks that they might be getting up to. Won't be the case, so it'll be open once again for Elevate to try and sweep through, get some easy control in the office, and from that point forward, they're already kind of reached an execution point. Just need to line up the rest of their roster and feel secure enough to commit to the execute. And this is a 2 minutes, already a good amount of map control gained.
Oh,
Rich coming under a lot of pressure right now, though.
Getting shot from his own teammates as well. Nog was actually going to tag him up a little bit with that skeleton key, but it seems that TSM wants to try and battle back. Both holding down on the staircases is going to be Bolo as well as Achieved from main stairs, as well as Cool Vibes. But Rich is going to be holding down inside of Hookah, using all of his breach charges upstairs, and this is what we were forewarning you about. This upstairs pressure onto the 2x bars side is quite a bit, but one thing you always have to be worried about on the offense is that these angles do work both ways, so you have to be very, very wary of peeking new angles from downstairs. Could be getting held from an ACOG, but it doesn't appear to be such just yet. Seems that TSM is trying to hold down just inside of the hallways here. Elevate's got more of their focus on that vertical pressure, as they're finally going to switch gears, and it appears that they do want to try and take Underroom right off of that Sunrise bar.
Use a lot of time to do it, of course, so time's going to be a little bit lower here now. We'll knock out the second Twitch drone as it attempts to work its way past Cool Vibe, but it is going to spot out the Jaeger, so kills his plans to get a little bit more aggressive. Still good Goo Mine intel coming out upstairs there as they were able to... One player peg from it. Rich is going to get down, not knocked out though, still very resable as well with his current position. So it's very likely he gets brought back up and we still end up in a full 5v5. Time is getting low though. Somehow Nog got naded by Yellow. Gonna pass on that for a moment, try to come back to that one later. Res attempt going off in the meanwhile onto Rich, and it's successful, but here's the problem. You're gonna see Achieved work his way in, immediately finds Rich, throws down the Goo Mine, but they didn't catch the second player on Yellow stairs. So Yellow, or excuse me, Cool Vibe stairs. Yellow, in the meanwhile, is going to be able to find one trade, but it won't really matter that much as it's still traded out. It's all left to Spartan at the end of the day in a 1v3.
They're doing such a good job of misdirection, and right when Elevate gets their focal point set, able to get that flank off, and Bio will claim the last life on Elevate. Gonna be Team SoloMid here to tie things back up. But as you guys saw, Elevate really just not knowing what they wanted to do. They got the vertical pressure. They got all that they wanted. They removed all of the floor. They're putting new wood floors down. That's really what it was. A little bit of reconstruction surgery here on Coastline, but no, that's not exactly what happened. Able to open up that entire floor, but TSM just played for retake instead. They just vacated the site and said, hey, we're going to hold over inside the kitchen, hold over inside of the offices area, anywhere that you don't think that we should be. So instead of obviously trying to hold things down inside of site and just getting absolutely eviscerated, instead rotating off, rotating upstairs, trying to alleviate that pressure. And that's exactly what Achieve did. He was able to rotate up main stairs eventually. Bolo was trying to keep things locked down on Cool Vibes, but eventually eventually losing his gunfight at the bottom of main, to where Achieved was able to rotate upstairs and claim 2 lives, especially that Buck that was trying to hold things down. Or excuse me, actually it was going to be Yellow. Nog was the one who got naded that we hadn't talked about just yet. So Yellow actually killed Nog with a well-placed or misplaced frag grenade would probably be the better phrase for that. So Elevate just overall in round number 8, just not really knowing what they want.
Yeah, costing them heavily, especially with that team nade kill, which again, we didn't really get to see how that happened, but be very curious to know. Either way, though, Mark could be doing a little bit of reconstruction, a little bit far away to knock out the second side of a lot of that paneling, so he has to go part of the run of it. But thankfully, that super short, he's not going to be used for much besides reconstruction, so he can spare the ammo. And in the meanwhile, the rest of the setup will be complete. It's TSM's turn to try and take the lead back from Elevate. As if we continue to go back and forth, it's now Elevate. They were the first team to pick up 2 rounds consecutively, so they've now kind of taken the lead away from TSM in that trade. It's up to them to keep this streak rolling on their attack and prevent TSM from taking back control in their own regard. It's going to start with pressure, working its way in through Aquarium. This shouldn't be challenged too much until they get over closer to like Hookah and the 90 turn at the hallway here as we're playing in the kitchen sites instead. Speaking of which, there we go. Bolo going to try to jump up here on Cool Vibe stairs to stop the push, and nearly does it. It's 75 HP off of Nog there.
Could be able to take out the drone that's rolling down Cool Vibe stairs, but again, it's going to be a lot of pressure upstairs from the offense. But TSM seems to be good for it, as they are going to be having Merc inside of 90 as well. He finds one. Is he going to be able to find the second? That's Rich. That means no more twitching. What a shot by Merc. But Yellow's there to finally find the refrag after all of that. But not before he got all the damage off he possibly could. And Achieve's going to be on main, as you guys can see Jaeger as well as Legion holding down both staircases, making Elevate's job even that much harder. It seems that TSM's finally found their stride on this defensive set.
Now with full control in a 4 versus 2, it's up to Elevate's last 2 players here, Spartan and Tranks, to try and turn this back onto their own control. Still have controlled the diffuser, but the players are a little bit split up here right now. Thankfully not too far. They should be able to get them back together. It's more about, okay, how do we approach this execute? Because they don't have the positioning to play off of. And once again, Achieved is going to be allowed to just push his way right up the main stairs, knocking out Spartan, leaving Tranks without really much to play with. They might have even heard that drop that he just went for in a career. It looks like they did. They've got a pretty easy lock onto his position right now. So he's going to try to hold the corner, see what comes from this, maybe get a kill or 2 from it. Goomine also thrown into the open. He's not going to challenge that. The push doesn't work initially. Tranks will hold his first kill, but ultimately, again, is fighting against the tide here in a 1v3. He's going to have to make a push over there towards Kitchen eventually. And when he does, they're waiting for him.
Yeah, TSM going to do their best to hold some very tight angles. Do not want to give Tranks any chance. As you guys saw earlier, he was able to clutch out that 1 versus 2, so definitely don't want to try and test him on his aim. But overall, round definitely foreshadowed or overshadowed by the likes of Merc with that double kill upstairs and immediately refragged off of Achieve. But it's going to be all TSM in round number 9 to take the lead back once again as they're inching closer and closer to round point here. But oh wow, what a shot by Bios. He's going to flick over to the wall real quick. But again, able to read him out. They knew exactly where he was inside of Courtyard, and that's not really an area you want to be in that kind of instance because there's so many different angles that you have to worry about. But that's nonetheless, as we did see once again, TSM more or less just riding home with cash in hand as they were able to just hold down upstairs. And it seems to be off the back of Bolo as well as, well, priorly Achieved, now Merc playing Legion. But Bolo and Achieved holding down both of those staircases. They grant access to the rest of the map, but I mean, what really are you going to do with that map control upstairs if you're not able to battle down the staircases?
Yeah. We've got some Blackbeard play going to be coming in here now that we're heading back over to Hookah Billiards, and we're going to see that played by Rich. Didn't really see that used all that much, if at all, by TSM on their attacking side, so we'll get to see it played here. A few places where we can see a lot of Blackbeard proficiency coming. He can either take the main push through Aquarium, go onto the big window and try to take a duel there in the early round. Same could be said for the window in Hookah or the push into Hookah Balcony. A lot of places to use him here, especially considering that Elevate has kind of had hit or miss results with opening duels so far in this match.
They were pretty hit or miss, as you said, but
new feet up.
Double bar so far has worked out decently, at least for Elevate. They had a couple good showings, but not able to find their mark on it. Did have a very, very close round the second time around, The very first one was very, very easy for TSM, as you guys saw. That was actually the first round that we played. I know it was a little while ago, but that was the one where they were able to make quick work. Didn't even need very much map control and didn't even take up stairs to get the job done. Didn't need any of that, but Elevate made their life a little bit harder the second time that they went to double bar, but again, just missing that mark. So this is going to be TSM's second attempt on double bar. We'll see if they are able to break the pattern between these two teams.
Mark's going to make an incredibly aggressive push here to try and find Yellow. Spotted out relatively early on there. I think it was... no, we don't have a Mozzie, so it wouldn't have been a drone there. So I thought they were able to steal a drone and find him out early with the push from that, but we don't have him, so not a possibility. Either way, Yellow was found out early trying to push in a lobby. Nog, ready to chuck out a nade there. It might have been his death if he had done so. Spots a black eye came at the last second on him. Mark, though, once again,
oh no,
says bye-bye in the process to Nog. Even stops to type before finally going down to Rich.
No way, they're good nighting everyone right now. Oh my goodness. A little bit of friendly banter. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. But it's gonna be Elevate to try and battle back here in round number 10. It's Rich and Tranks. Tranks seems to be just the White Knight trying to save the princesses here for Elevate. It's not working out for him. He did make it work one round, but again, I don't believe that TSM is going to let him do it twice. Again, they slowed down their gameplay, not trying to get too aggressive. They already have all the pressure that they could possibly want in the world. They even have Blackbeard down to one shot. He might have a shield in front of his face, but his body's still exposed for more of the angles that he's going to hold than not. So, crazy pre-fires, but Rich able to find him. That is going to be that rifle shield getting taken down. So, only has one left. 3 versus 2 here for TSM.
Rich, so far, the only player really keeping his team in the round with both the kills they've been able to acquire so far. Besides this, though, not a whole lot of progress being made by Elevate. Again, they're stuck outside. Don't really have a right to engage. I would assume that both of Rich's rifle shields are now gone, by the way. Oh, this kid in the round right here. Rich is already low. If he's in the bad position, he's a goner here. Just waiting for the timing on it. They're going to drop diffuser, rotate one player downstairs. I mean, if Achieve lets go of this thing right now, he's got to kill 100%.
I just want my phone call. I just want it. I just want my phone call. Toss it. Achieved. Do it. Do the thing. Explosive finish, and it's going to be a kill under Rich, but it's not going to be Tranks as he has shifted his way downstairs into Sunrise Bar. Has his eyes set on cool vibes, but again, it's going to be 3 versus 1. He did get the 1 versus 2. Not with IQ. He got it with Doc the last time and took quite a bit of damage doing so, but the 1 armor definitely not going to be the best for these multiple gunfights he's going to have to take. Going to have to be very, very precise, but all the toxic bait. Going to try and battle through. Achieve, though, to meet him at the door.
So, great stuff from TSM. Pick up yet another round. Seem to have finally found their footing here on the defense. And with that, are going to try to leverage their way all the way up to the final round.
I still cannot believe that he good-nighted that man on Lamborghini doorway. That was...
You could see him stop to type.
You love to see it.
He was literally in the middle of a fight. Killed someone. He had like someone else run through the door and missed him.
You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it, especially when Elevate does it back as well. There's always fun moments found in good banter.
It's a lot of fun indeed. And now TSM.
Oh, they're going to go back.
A little bit more confidence rolling in their favor. They're going to broil back over to the double bars here and see if they can get a closeout on the match one final time. 7-4 is what they're looking for here. Only 1 round away from it as Elevate has unfortunately fallen by the wayside after they picked up their first round on attack. We just haven't seen anything from them in quite a few rounds now. TSM's gotten a lot better, especially at aggressive play here on the defense, and it's been a huge gear in the works here for Elevate.
So, again, over the last 2 games, TSM has found 3 rounds on defense amongst the possible 14 that they could have. Or, excuse me, the possible 12 that they could have. Apologies. But, besides that point, they have 3 rounds on defense throughout this entire map. So they've matched their record across the last 2 entire games that they've played for defensive sided rounds. But with this 2x bar, they did priorly win the last one, and that's where you saw them make quick work of Elevate with an initial pick on that run out. So we'll see if they're able to find the exact same success once again.
Well, let's get into it, folks, and see if Elevate can indeed survive the onslaught that we're seeing right now from TSM, or if it's just a little too late for the guys on Elevate. They're going to try their best to run these next 2 rounds, get us into OT, and then win the better of the 2 out of the 3 remaining rounds. Achieved Also going to be a little bit more aggressive this time. He's already got the pests down in order to stop any attempts to drone out against him. But as you can see, those are going to get spotted by the IQ. Just can't really get an angle on them, however. Going to prove to be a little bit more annoying to eliminate here, as they definitely are trying to drone through that door. But at the moment, it's proven impossible. Main door's going to open back up, achieved. And nearly actually kind of walks himself into a Nitro Cell kill, but is a little bit off the timing of it. So not going to be able to take out the player upstairs. He will get flashed out, however. Now going to get pushed from the main doorway. Loses the duel to Yellow.
Okay. All right, well, see if Merc is able to use bullets in the form of NyQuil again. We'll be able to find the drone, but he is Vigil. Doesn't have to worry too much about it. So that ERC will help him out pre-fires, but doesn't find a single soul. And over inside of the billiards area, but again, slow wind up here for Elevate. They did get that initial frag, as you talked about, onto Achieve, so no more Mozzie, no more Nitro Cell, but he does have those pests possibly down. Bio looking over into luggage. We'll be able to find Yellow, excuse me, finding Bio is completely falling apart. But speaking of falling apart, Yellow with the triple kill. Yellow on Ash, prior team of his as well, so interesting to see once again. But it seems that Elevate is not out of the thick of it just yet. They do still have 2 people to find. It's Crazy and Bolo. We've seen crazier things happen before in 2v5 situations, but Crazy definitely going to be one to want to try and stay alive. Bolo trying to play the soft angle here as he creeps up, slowly to cool vibes, trying to find this frag. So many angles that could possibly be watching him right now, and he's worried about all of them as you see him flicking back and forth. That Cam trying to help him out as much as possible. Drone going to come downstairs. It is going to get shot. Going to take the gunfight, and Bolo going to take down Blackbeard, shield and all. Doesn't even matter. Rips the man's head off. Continues to put in work. Crazy with an M590. Finally gets taken down. It's a 1 versus 4. Bolo's going to have to try and ace out. This would be the round to put it down. He finds Spartan.
He's got the read on a player working his way through. Cool Vibes looks away from it, potentially the wrong time. No! Drops the diffuser, goes back to the Cool Vibes player, but misses Yellow, who finishes off the round with his 4th kill. An amazing turn of events from him, as he pretty much single-handedly gets the 3 openers and the closer in order to put the round in Elevate's pocket.
Would definitely be the round to seal the deal, or concrete how good Bolo is. Because, again, a lot of people have very, very high hopes for this man. Again, he's been doing fantastic throughout his Pro League showing already. I mean, the kid just turned 18. Let's be honest, you know? Like, there's a lot of weight on this man's shoulders, and to even in those instances, flash just a little bit of how skilled this man is at this game. You got to give it to him. But again, on the other side of the coin, we have Yellow grabbing a 4K on Ash, and he's going to continue to do so. And it's funny enough that his prior team that he played for in quite a few tournaments was Yellow on Ash. They even had a logo for it. It's fantastic.
Well, Yellow with this crazy play from him might have just brought Elevate back into the match and reignited their chances for a closeout here. We'll see if it's going to be enough. They still need to get through this round and then OT as well. So they are not anywhere close to being out of hot water just yet. TSM could still see the shutdown from them coming out in this round. We're going to find out on that in just a few minutes. Back down to the double bars again. This really hasn't been working out for either team's defense so far. Elevate has played it multiple times. It didn't really go that well for them. TSM's played this multiple times, and they've had mixed results. So he was really gravitating towards these double bars, but so far he's proven to be a bad idea for the defenders almost every single time.
Yeah, and for people just joining us and wondering why the stats were a little skewed for how many rounds we've played, we had a rehost after round number 5, so that would be why they look a little bit different. So you can more or less just add 2 or 3 kills per person. Merc more than likely having the most amount of frags for TSM by just a little bit. She's been putting in quite a bit of work on this defensive half here for TSM.
So still a slow build up to this one. As we've kind of come to expect with Elevate, that's been what they used to change this game around to a large degree, but that's a large part of how they won that last round. Obviously, besides Yellow's own individual play, the team took a much slower approach in general. And it caught TSM out. Like Yellow, again, you got to gravitate back to him ultimately for the end of this point, as he did win 3 individual 1v1s throughout the course of that round. The second one of which was like the slowest peak I've ever seen. He somehow still won it.
It happens, you know. Slow walking into angles. Not something you see too often, and usually it's a no-no, but sometimes it works out in your favor, especially inside of Siege when people aren't too ready for it.
You alt-walk that bad boy and still got it.
Exactly, alt-walk it. Usually kind of throws you off as well, because you aim outwards instead, expecting the man to try and sprint across your screen, and you just see this like slow shoulder peek. Yeah. Well, hello, my friend. Do you have the time to talk about our Lord and Savior Bolo, as he's going to be able to take down Nog? That's going to be the buck. No more fragger names either. Thank you, I appreciate it. As we are going to have, once again, yellow on Ash. So Elevate has to find the answer here. Otherwise, it's going to be TSM going on to the finals of the night and getting another round played. Yellow waiting at the top of main. Achieve with a shot and a half, but Spartan able to refrag onto main stairs. Pre-fires as he hears the man rotating upstairs. Not enough health, though, as it is going to be Bio on Doc. Does not want to take that gunfight just yet, especially with that 3 armor. It takes a lot of bullets to take that big boy down, unless you want to try and rip his head off.
That was the same exact angle that Yellow killed Achieved, I think, in the last round. So talk about a bit of poetic revenge right there. You're going to see the tables turn on that one, if memory serves me correctly. The round's still going to continue to play out slowly. This time, obviously, TSM having this very slight aim duel advantage. Bolo finally going to give up in the staring contest. Might have wanted to stick around for it, though, as he does get some shots thrown back at him after he tries to move away from the angle. Bolo, in fact, is going to try to go a little bit crazy here with the run out. Same thing from well, speaking of crazy, he's also going to try to do a run out. And he's going to get stomped, however, by an air jab, push back inside.
So a little bit of a fast rotation there by Bolo off that aquarium balcony, as you were talking about, and then a little bit of a bait of the air jab to set up for the run out. They were trying to get rid of that, so if you actually crouch up against the wall and the air jab goes off, it doesn't knock you down.
Gotcha.
So you just burn the utility, which is very, very nice. And also there's a quick rotate that you can do on the balcony where you jump down to that door if it's open for offices. So that's the 2 that you saw prior. Might have a quick shot here with the MPX. Not very good at range, but again, a headshot kills inside of this game. Merc going to pre-fire through, but doesn't find too much. Gone fishing with that mag that he just dispensed from the K1A.
They don't have this
15 seconds. Merc able to find Spartan. Crazy to take down Tranks, and it's all left up to Rich. Here at the last second, he finds the dock, but Merc, as he takes down Rich, that's going to be GG's in the chat. TSM moving on inside of this match.
Ultimately, our Pro League team does top it out and work their way through into our final match of the night.
Oh,
here we go.
Here we go.
Whew. He's flexing.
It's beautiful.
He's Cyber Soldier #1, or whatever the skin is called. Toxin something, right?
Nanotoxins.
Nanotox. Nanotox, that's what it's called. That's right.
Nanomachines.
Nanomachines, son. All right, and that'll close out the game, though, ladies and gentlemen. TSM coming out on top of it, so they will thrive and move through into our second matchup of the night, where we're going to see them face off against either Our Bad or the Pittsburgh Embers. Our Bad already having reached this point before. They, of course, will still be a favorite to move through, but the Pittsburgh Embers also have a lot of stuff brewing in their own rosters. We'll have to see how those 2 teams face off, but that's the future. Now it's time to break it a little bit down from this match, though.
I see what you did there. Pittsburgh Bruins. Pittsburgh Brewing. I like it.
Oh,
good stuff.
An accident, but okay.
Anyways, so replay is going to be up on your guys' screen. So after the rehost, I mean, it seemed to continue for just a second was the teeter-totter. So going all the way up into round number 8, we saw the teeter-totter going back and forth between these 2 teams, but TSM was able to break that on their defensive half nonetheless. As we talked about earlier, not too hot on defense has this team been in recent history, but able to break that mold as priorly they only had 3 rounds overall in the past 2 matches. They were able to get 4 defensive rounds on Coastline here. So a little bit of a shattering of the mold so far, but I mean, if there's any takeaway from this, it's that Elevate is definitely no slouch. I mean, taking a Pro League team to the max of regulation, definitely no short of incredible.
It seems like they kind of ran out of steam a little bit on attack, but to be fair, it would have been interesting to see this in like a longer round format, because it did seem like Elevate was really good at innovating. It just might have taken a little bit longer than, you know, they were given to actually get out of this match with. And I think that was the ultimate fault to them, is that they were trying a lot of different things. They were constantly changing up their game plan, but just not quickly enough. And it seemed TSM evolved slightly quicker. And by the end of the day, it was enough for them to push it over the edge and close out the match. So they still ended up taking it there, and will now have the spot in our final match of the day.
Yeah, again, we're going to have to see who that is between Our Bad and the Pittsburgh Embers. But for MVPs, we talked about him a little bit earlier. I believe that my MVP of this entire thing, it's got to be Achieved. The man's been doing fantastic throughout the entire game. We'll get your guys' stats up here in just a second. But Achieved especially, he might have not been doing the really flashy plays. Granted, he did have some 2Ks and 3Ks that we did get on screen. But overall, definitely playing that flex position to the best of his ability and showing us how it's done.
Mine's a little bit different. I actually went for Merc, because I think he was making some really smart plays throughout the course of it. There was a couple rounds in particular where I think he made a lot of impact, especially on the defensive side of things, and was able to put his team in a really good spot for the rest of that round. So a little different, not necessarily like a stat-heavy player or anything like that when you look at the stats of this matchup, which we'll be getting that on screen a little bit later on here, but still a very important player in my eyes to the outcome of the match, so I'm going to be putting my vote with him.
Yeah, GN. Make sure to put that GN. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's completely separate from my reasoning. It's also fun to say, but still.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's good stuff. I love it.
And of course, guys, as is usual, we're going to be trying to get one of the players from TSM on comms here in just a second so that we can do an interview with them, and that should be coming up in the next couple moments. But now we can start to talk and get a little bit more prepared for that next matchup and what we might be seeing there. Like we said before, it's Our Bad, who's already stepped up to the plate before the Pittsburgh Embers. Haven't seen them move this far into the bracket just yet. They just jumped in. I think we saw a little bit from them in Stage 1, but never made it to this part on the stream. Last week as well, they fell just short of making it here onto the mainstream into the semifinals of the bracket as they got knocked out in the quarterfinals against Claim Charm, actually, who would go on to face off against Rogue and would lose that matchup, but still, little by little, we're seeing that team make a bit more progress. And they've been doing pretty good, even in things like the Open NA Rally Quals. They've had like a 6-2 record on that for 3 weeks straight now, so they've been doing a pretty good job there. So we'll have to see how that faces off against Our Bad, who, of course, in the arena of USN here has already tested themselves quite a bit.
Exactly. Well, we do have those stats up now. It's going to be Achieve stats right under me. So you can see 13-7 with a +6 differential, a cost of 75%, which is actually massive. That's a massive amount of cost. And then entry 2 for 1, which means he got 2 entry kills and he was the entry kill 1 time. So overall, very good play for Achieved. And I'm sure that we will have Merc stats up here just a second, but get to talk about my boy Achieved a little bit more, which is exciting. So I would say that the main thing for me is how well he was able to hold down the main stairs. No matter what, even when Merc had that nice 2K and then got refragged, Achieved was there to pick up the pieces and really put TSM in those winning positions.
We've got Merc stats here once again, just to emphasize, this is probably too impressive.
Right.
It's not bad.
He 13-10.
Yeah, come on. I mean, he did better than your guy on entries, so... That's what I was talking about, though, that early round impact, especially on defense. I think that's probably where most of those entry kills came from, actually. He definitely, was able to show up in that part of the arena. 67% on cost is not anywhere near bad either. And obviously,
my guy's got a better cost. Now what?
Okay. Are we just comparing that? Are we just going to talk about which of our guys is better?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
We're going to make him do like 1v1s after this, too.
Yes, dude.
I'll
commentate it. We'll play Peaks on House. Don't worry about it.
Well, we'll see about that one. That might be a part of the rule book. We have to talk to Ubisoft to get worked in. But
it's in the ESL handbook, and there's 2 different MVPs. They have to battle to the death.
You got the team stats on each side of the screen now, by the way, so we can take a look at it. This is obviously combined team stats where TSM, again, we were talking about this, I think, at one point in the match, how in the opening round, TSM doing a little bit better. And this is, I think, a part of the reason why we saw Elevate switch over to Blackbeard over the course of that match, was because their opening duels were not looking that great. And you can see that by the stats here, with TSM getting the opening kill on 8 out of the 12 rounds that were played.
Yeah, as well as TSM getting 3 plants down, whereas Elevate had none. So a little bit of misplay on the objective side of things for Elevate. But again, I just believe that they really never had the pressure on site to be able to get down the plant. It seemed like a lot of the times when they did win those 2 rounds that they had on their offensive set, it was down to a 2v2 or a 1v1 where it's like, okay, I just want to focus on fragging this guy out instead of trying to put that diffuser down.
It was usually with them like pushing the side at the last second or something like that too. So at that point, you weren't really playing for a plant. You were just playing to end the game in like a DM manner. So
exactly.
So they were put pressure into those types of situations a lot, but that was like by their own making though. Because remember, like especially towards the late game, they started to play a much slower attacking side. Were really taking their time so they could try to have a better. Again, this comes back to actually to the opening kills part because they were trying to do a better job of winning those opening duels. And I think that's large part of the reason why they slowed it down, brought Blackbeard into the lineup to hopefully increase the capability to win duels a little bit. Just didn't really work out. I think early game got a little bit smoother, but late round was still, a little bit hectic when it came to the trading, and obviously TSM ended up coming out on top of that more times than not.
Yeah, they came out super aggressive on that initial hookah attack, where, I mean, it just seemed that TSM wasn't even in the lobby there for a second, but after that, really fell apart, especially after that 3-round streak by TSM, and I think that that's really what just decimated the offense of Elevate. They just got inside of their own head, started thinking about it too much, and again, that's something that happens quite a bit. This is a mental game, as is every other sport, so...
Yeah, of course. So once again, guys, we are just trying to get that interview set up for you guys here. So we're going to attempt to get a player from TSM on comms, talk to them a little bit about the match and what they may be expecting for our third final match of the night as well. And if we don't manage to get that, we'll still be heading to a break here in a second and getting the second match queued up for you guys. But we got the interview, so it's time for Stokes to talk to a member of our winning team here.
All right, we'll see who we have on the other side of the horn, and it's going to be the man. It's going to be Bolo. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Nothing much. Pretty good. How are you, Stokes?
I'm doing fantastic, man. It's good to see you since I saw you at the minor, but hey, we got our first win under our belt. How you feeling about it?
It could have gone a little bit cleaner. I mean, there was some mishaps, especially on defense, kind of some miscommunication here and there, but I mean, we won. That's all that matters.
Hey, I mean, if you didn't know, you guys got 4 defensive rounds in this match, and over your last 2, you only got 3. So improvements, that matters.
Yeah, definitely improvements. Yeah,
definitely improvements.
Definitely something we need to work on.
Yeah, there's always things to work on, buddy. Don't worry about that. But
Yeah.
got a couple of questions for you, and then we'll be seeing you on later tonight between Arbat and Pittsburgh Embers. But besides that, overall, how are you feeling? I mean, it's been only 6 days since you started playing Pro League. I mean, before that, content creator, everyone knew you for your shot. But now you're on the big stage. How does it feel?
It's definitely a change of pace for sure. Still adjusting. We're slowly getting there, but I think give it a little bit, and TSM will definitely be a force.
I agree with you. I agree with you there. So recent pickup of that org as well, but we're not going to be talking too much about that. It's just great for the Rainbow Six scene overall. But
yeah,
we are going to have another member of your team as well. It's going to be Merc. He's been extremely impressive, especially, I mean, I remember casting this guy all the way back on Xbox. So it's been a long time coming for him, and he's roughly your same age as well. I believe that you're both 18, actually, just both turning 18 recently. So how does it feel having another young gunner on the team, and how do you think you guys are meshing overall?
Merc and I definitely being like the newest players. We still both have to like work out our little quirks here and there. But I think Merc's doing a pretty good job at like just fragging and everything. He's listening, you know. Again, just slowly getting there.
Yeah, just a little bit of a learning curve, especially coming from a lot of the younger teams were as well, at least one of my friends likes to say, or Flynn, if you want to call him a friend, the Xbox call-outs of repeating them 3 times over, and we're trying to keep comps clear and everything calm. But so last question, and then we'll have you on your way, my friend. You guys can start preparing for the next match or go get a water or something along those lines. It's actually ridiculously hot in the studio right now, let me tell you. But besides that point, last question for you today. On your guys' offensive sets, it seems like you guys were making quick work of getting up to those angles. Did you guys have a lot of presets as to how you wanted to handle Coastline? Because we haven't seen you overall as a team play this match just yet. Or play this map, excuse me.
Yeah, we have a general idea of what to do, like especially against like a little bit more like aggressive teams, because you know Elevate's kind of aggressive, so we just had to like kind of shut them down a little bit, get to it fast, and then just work off of picks.
Okay, I got you. It seems like we're going to be able to fit one more question in here for you as well. So, as we were just talking about with that offensive set, where you guys are obviously running up to those angles, as you said, playing against a more aggressive team. How do you guys try and combat that? Do you guys try and set those pre-placed drones up where you think they're going to try and battle outside of the site? Because as we saw, especially in like that first round that they played on, on the hookah billiard site, where they were able to fight out, and you guys obviously thought that smoke was in the default spot behind the couch, but he was actually downstairs and got that frag on you on double windows. After that round, were you guys able to more or less make an adjustment, go, okay, they're not really going to sit where we're going to think they're going to sit, or what was more or less your game plan for the rest of that side?
Yeah, just 100%, because like the smoke was pretty aggro, so we had to do a little bit out of the ordinary. So just like I put a drone over by like lobby and like security just to watch our flank and just like going a little bit out of the norm, and I mean it worked on attack.
Yeah, it's always funny to me, especially from spectators at home that don't notice all the extremely little things. You know what I mean? It's always hard to notice with like the spectator cam and things along those lines. But hopefully we'll be seeing you later today. We'll be seeing who your matchup is going to be in our next match. But thank you for coming on and talking to me, Bolo. I appreciate it.
Appreciate for having me. Thank you. Have a good day, Stokes.
You do the same.
All right. Thank you very much once again, Stokes, for that interview. That was a very nice one there with Bolo. And we might be having him on the stream again a little bit later, too, if TSM is able to pull through and qualify for the conference qualifiers at the end of the stage. That's going to do it, though, for match number 1, though, folks. Stick with us as we've got our second match coming up right after this.